Hello traders, welcome to this live currency strength indicator table video with me, John. In this video we're going to be taking a look at some markets of interest. We're going to kick it off actually with Euro US dollar. We were managing that position. I've come out of that position now, so I'm just going to break down the reasonings for you. If you do actually have Discord at the moment, then you will see that I've updated in Discord with another position actually going in today. Hasn't triggered yet, but we can go and talk about it at least. So yeah, I'm going to just talk about the reasons why I exited the position. Now I'm going to actually show you on TradingView. We would just so you can see the prices a little bit easier, and you won't be able to not be able to see them clearly. So hopefully that is clear. Do obviously give us some feedback if it is clear enough for you, so you can see this is the area we were talking about yesterday in terms of the 6400 level, and what we were watching for was to see if price would continue down from the 6400 level. Now Aussie US dollar is the top of the day traders table. So this is what we're going to come back to in a second, but I'm actually just going to flick back to Euro US dollar because this is the trade that we took and we exited at 0.728 was our final exit. If I just bring that up, we had a stop loss of around about 40 pips, so it's around about a 1.7 return there. And the reasoning behind this trade was the fact that we were originally looking at the 1.0820 for an entry, didn't quite get the price criteria into that. We then had a double top. If we look at it on the 30-minute time frame, it was followed by a couple of other confluences which happened to be sort of a break in this trend line support, minor trend line support from the 30-minute time frame. Just to be clear, guys, the left hand side is the daily time frame, the right hand side is the 30-minute time frame, and we can see here that we did get that break, and we were basically watching to see if this downside daily momentum would continue down into these lows. Now I did on the blog post talk about a exit at 1.0675 was the secondary target, well, the target of the trade. I have actually come out. The reason I've come out is because I found another area through here of a little bit of support, and that's where I wanted to exit my position at the time. Now, could you still technically hold this position if you are in it? Yes, absolutely. Everything's still suggesting that we could see some further downside. Even if we look at the stochastics here, the stochastic is below the 20. We could also see on the daily time frame, on the hourly, on the 30-minute time frame, sorry, we are gone overbought, you could say, from the sort of above 80 area. Now we're coming back down, so there's momentum to the downside potentially here for Euro US dollar. Now I have put another sort of entry criteria in there. That's not something I'm particularly going to trade right now because I have another order on Aussie US dollar, but that could be something to consider, or you could wait for another sort of break of trend line support through here, for instance. Just to give you extra confluence. But I have come out of that position. Another sort of reasoning why I came out of that position is because we came into that support, and you can see here on the stochastic oscillator we started to kind of push back to the upside. So that to me was sort of a sign that we could be coming back to the upside, so that I wanted to get out of that position. If I go to the left hand chart here and look at our higher time frame, which is the 4-hour time frame, if I drag this vertical line over, you can also see that we started to sort of bottom out, and the stochastic started to come above the 20 today. So that could be a sign that price is pulling back a little bit, but I still feel like there could be some good downside. Again, kind of familiarizing ourselves with what happened in the past. Well, what we saw, if I just grab a quick pen tool, let me just change the color of it because we've obviously on a white background now. You can see here the potential for further downside, because this is what happened before. We've had these shallow retracements, big momentum coming into the market. Again, we've got sort of a shallow retracement coming in. Are we going to get big momentum down into that level of resistance? Sorry, we just heard flapping ears in the background. That was my my dog getting up. So looking for a continuation potentially down here. I would potentially like to see some kind of continuation there, because it does still look pretty good to the downside. So if you are still technically in that move, then there could still be some extra further sort of momentum to the downside there. So, but I'm just giving you the reason why I exited my position. I was happy at that 1.7, but obviously I didn't put it in the blog post, so I just wanted to correct that there. Going on back to Aussie US dollar then. So this is the trade that I'm looking at this current moment in time. Entry criteria, I've posted full description into the Discord. Entry is 0.6379, stop loss of 0.6429, which is a 50 pip stop loss. Target 1 is 63.09, which is 70 pips. Target 2, 62.79, which is 100 pips. Why am I interested in Aussie US dollar? If we flick back over to our tables, you can see it tops the day traders table. Yes, the confluence has gone away from the trend trader side of the table with the Australian dollar, but we had a nice breakout yesterday. It was something we discussed in yesterday's video. If I just go back to the daily time frame on the left hand side here, you can see the 0.64 in here was that level of interest like we discussed. We got that trend line breach as well. So I'm looking to see if we do get that continuation. Now, if I just go left, the reason why I think 0.62 sort of 75 area could be a target is because it's this low that formed back on the Thursday, the 3rd of November. The reason why I'm targeting 63 as well is because obviously it's a psychological number, so I want to come out potentially just before that 63 number on my first target positions. It just gives us a bit of a chance that if price does move in our favor and it gets to that earlier target and we start to see signs of reversal, then there's opportunity to get out at that point. So remember that just because there's the 62.75 at that low, you've got to understand that there's 63 psychological level is there as well. So that could be a target for sellers in this current move. If I just actually correct the coordinates here and click OK. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of looking for at the moment. If we look at the stochastic as well, we've turned back lower. That also looks to me like there could be some further momentum to the downside. Now, looking at the hourly chart here on the right hand side, we're below the 50 moving average, we're below the 200 moving average. We've got a nice trend line resistance coming through here as well, and you know, the stochastic also turned back bearish. So that to me was enough for me to look for an entry criteria. Price has gone against us, but we're not in the trade yet, so I'm looking for entry at 63.79. If I actually just put the risk reward tool on here, it might be a little bit easier for us. So 63.79 on the entry. The profit level, or the first profit level, is 63.09, and the stop loss level was 64.29. Okay, so that's the kind of area that I'm looking for. That alone is a 1 spot 4 reward. If we were to extend it down to our full target, which would be the 62.79, okay, the 100 pips, that is a 2-to-1 risk reward to risk ratio. So I would like the idea of that. Okay, now we're not in that just yet, so we'll see if it can produce parameters for this to sort of be cancelled. Obviously, if you are in the Discord group, I will give you an update on that. I think if we trade above this area here, above the 6400, we breach the 50 MA, that would be cause for concern for me. A close above the 50 MA would be something I would not be interested in. If we, you know, come back below the 50 MA and maybe do something like this, you know, maybe like a little head and shoulders, then again, I'll be interested in here, but I'd want to see price close back below that 50 MA again. At the moment, you can see the stochastic is kind of following what price is doing at the moment, but we do have that sort of turn bearish there. So that's why I'm looking for this particular entry. It's the same with some other currency pairs of interest as well. So if we go take a look at sort of New Zealand US dollar, obviously euro dollar's already on here, so we've already covered that. But if we take a look at New Zealand US dollar as well, it's almost setting up in a very similar fashion. Again, I've just put the trade thing here just to kind of give you an idea of what's going on. If I go to the leave that on the hourly. If I go to the daily time frame on the left hand side, you can see again strong bearish momentum coming through here. We are at a little bit of a supporting zone. However, obviously the next sort of low is that 57.60. So could be some potential to push through this zone and continue down. Again, look at this sort of pullback we're experiencing here at the moment. If I go to the 4 hour on the left hand side, it's a very shallow pullback at this current moment in time. So is the momentum going to start to shift and head back to the downside here? That's something we could consider as well. I prefer Aussie US dollar just because of the parameters we've discussed. If we do see that momentum down, then that's going to be good for us. We did look at Aussie Swiss yesterday. If I just actually scoot on down to Aussie Swiss, we did discuss this market in a little bit of depth because we were getting some very interesting sort of criterias being met. First of all, and we looked at it from the daily chart point of view, the daily chart had traded through this bullish channel. We had a close below, which is great. Even if we look at the stochastic, we've had a turn bearish there. So I'm looking to see if, you know, we can see some continuation to the downside. If we look at it from this sort of 4 hour point of view and hourly point of view, if I was to kind of look to the right there on that hourly chart, we can see that there's this almost like head and shoulders pattern that price has traded through. So maybe price is going to try and push a little bit higher first before we see any kind of downside momentum. Again, this kind of goes hand in hand with Aussie US dollar, I feel. Looking at the hourly stochastic, nothing's really setting up just yet. If we were to see something here, like maybe, you know, the stochastic start to sort of cross over here, start to get below the 80, then that could be something to also take a look at, because if we look at it back again from that sort of daily chart point of view, because there is potential to come back down into these daily swing lows at the 56 sort of 25 area. So that could provide quite a large risk reward trade if we were to kind of look at that potential. Let's just say, you know, we're kind of predicting the future here that we get a setup and it kind of comes in at 56.80 and we've got like a sort of 30-40 pip stop, because on Aussie Swiss it'll probably be about 30 odd pips at the moment. Down to that area there is a 1 to 5, but down to the major low, which is around about 55.75, is 2.68. So again, quite a nice return there if we can, obviously, or if the market does set up. And, you know, it would be nice to see the Swiss franc return to the strong side of the tables. It's gone away at the moment, so we have to consider that. Aussie's the only one really here at the moment. Obviously, there's some more markets to look at. I have taken a look at pound pairs. Didn't really like the look of them at the time. So pound Oz could be one to watch, but you can actually see that they are turning a bit bearish here at the moment. If we just have a little look at this area in isolation, you've got pound Aussie down, pound Kiwi down, pound Swiss down, pound yen down, pound CAD down, cable down. So does that really give me a sort of good sense of what, you know, pound is getting stronger? It doesn't really. So not really feeling that, to be honest. Obviously CAD's getting a bit stronger, but the only thing with that is we do have a Bank of Canada rate statement coming up today. If we just have a little look at the economic calendar here, we have the Bank of Canada interest rate decision at 3 p.m. British Standard Time. We also have some ISM non-manufacturing PMI out of the US at 3 p.m. So, you know, a couple of big important events today. So I would like us to be in a position, let's say, if I just flip back to Aussie US dollar, for instance, if price was triggered and in profit, I'd like to be in a position where we could maybe like bring our stop losses to break even before the event. But yeah, I'll give you an update on this. Whether I hold it through the event as well is going to be something that I need to have a look at as well. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Aussie US dollar, the one for me at the moment, considering that it tops our day traders table, considering all the confluence factors I have here. Obviously, things could change. That news could come out. It could be a bit worse for the US dollar. It could force the dollar to weaken. So there is that sort of caveat on there at this current moment in time. So hopefully that all made sense. Hopefully the trading view sort of split screen helps as well. The numbers on the side obviously bigger. It's really hard to see on MetaTrader. So hopefully that's made a difference as well. And yeah, if you're not up to date with us yet, then you can, I believe, jump on Discord and have a little look at some of the stuff that we're putting in there. So yeah, I'll catch you later, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you have a good trading day.